All right, guys, we're live. All right, I think that's good. All right, how's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing okay. I just want to invite someone over to my stream. Unfortunately, unless I do like this planned thing where I plan the stream out ahead of time, I don't always know what time I'm gonna wake up. So yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes. All right. We get a shareable link. Alrighty, where's my notices? I'm live. Alrighty. I think that's good. Alright, I got a few things on the docket today, and I'm really excited. Today's going to be really interesting. Just one second here. Oh. All right. Let me pick up my notes here. I have a few. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I'm a little unprepared. All right. I got a few things on the docket today. So today I'm going to be talking about why you shouldn't use Void Linux Musl edition. I'm going to talk about JSFX on Fedora. This is something that just came out last minute that I thought was extremely interesting. I'm going to be talking about how kids are probably smarter than lawmakers. I think China and Russia, maybe the Middle Eastern countries, I suspect that they're going to be releasing distros, very popular Linux distros, if these legislatures keep up this nonsense. I'll be setting up Devuan OpenRC. I think it's kind of an interesting project, and I had a blast, messing around with it this week. And of course, I'll be setting up XFCE maybe, and what else will I do? Well, if time permits, I'll do like a brief Distrobox setup video or Distrobox tutorial or whatever you call it. So I got a few things on the docket today. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everybody's on my live stream. I might give a couple more minutes to see where. Okay. So I had a couple of people up here. Oh, I got a couple of still. Very good. All right. Let me know if my volume is okay. All right. I am so excited today to be, just messing around. So, all right. Well, let's get to the first story. I think this one's an interesting one. How are we going to do this? I might just put this up here for right now so you can see the chat. All right. All right, let's take a look at this JSFX on Fedora Linux. It's an ultra-fast audio prototyping engine. Indeed it is. Something that I've used for years, and I really like it. All right. My first sip of coffee all day. JSFX. I use JSFX on Reaper, and this is kind of talking about how now it's going to be compatible with Ardour, Carla, Pipewire, Jack environment, that sort of thing. So this is really interesting. This is something that Fedora has been talking about. And I've been looking at this. It seems really easy to set up. And it's really easy to make like your own simple plugins and that sort of thing. And you can actually get a little bit more sophisticated if you'd like. And yeah, I'm just looking at some of these. Right here you have some, just a basic config file, and you have an actual GUI because of the JSFX program. And yeah, it's fairly easy to set up, and this is something I'm going to be taking a look at to be working in tandem with OBS. Sorry, man. Sometimes right after I eat, man, I just get sorry about that. I seem to be coughing in everyone's ear right now. But anyway, this seems to be like one of those programs that I would be able to use in tandem with OBS and write some really, really cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to taking a closer look at it. So basically, there are all kinds of available plugins with JSFX and that sort of thing, and you can download things like the Reaper plugins and that sort of thing. I think this is really came at a timely moment where I was actually thinking about putting together some things to work with my microphone setup. So this actually is really, really cool. I just wanted to take a look at it today. All right, next on the docket, you might remember last week I said, and I literally said, sorry about that. You might remember last week I said, seriously, I literally said that these new age restrictions are unenforceable. Well, it seems like I'm not the only one who thinks that. And there's a lot of people that have basically just told all of these lawmakers where to shove it in one way or another. And I think it's so interesting because they point out a lot of different facts that I think need to be recognized. One of those facts is that, like, what are we doing? Right? What are all these states doing? Exactly. What is the end goal here? To protect children? Somehow I doubt that, but okay. Say I believe for a second this was the case. The honest truth is, if you understand this, look, you could run an app on Flatpak or whatever, And you could, as part of the setup, require an email. Just hypothetically, I want people to just to visualize this and visualize what a bad idea this is. Okay. So it isn't about protecting the children. I saw a Heritage Foundation video about this saying, oh, it just makes common sense. At an OS level, no. It doesn't make any sense, because here's the thing. When you have to verify your age, just to use a regular app off of, like, say, Flatpak. And then in order to use that, you have to enter in your email. And so you have a little, like, area says, like, under 13, 13 to 15, whatever the, I don't remember the different criteria, right? But all of a sudden you have potentially you have someone's email address, and you know whether or not they're under the age of 18. It's only a matter of time before some predator starts emailing children as a result of this. This is such a bad idea on so many levels. I can't even comprehend what the hell these people are thinking. It is so terrible. Okay? And that's why you need to get out there. Talk to your senators. This is the one thing that I agree, I think we all agree. Talk to your senators. Talk to your legislatures. Tell them why this is a bad idea. Most of you understand this stuff. But I don't think this is enforceable. The creator of OpenRC agrees with me. It's absolutely unenforceable. Somebody said they were glad to see me. I'm glad to see them too. Oh, it's Ethan, the Ethanator. All right. So, go talk to your legislators. Go talk to your senators. Tell them what a bad bill this is. If you live in one of those states, just say, like, this is just not it. You want to protect children. There are many ways to do it that make a lot of sense. This is not the way to do it. This is not going to keep children safe. In fact, I would argue it puts lives in danger. And OpenRC basically said that they weren't going to do anything. Elementary, they're like, yeah, we'll rely on Ubuntu's implementation. Fedora communities like, well, we'll have a local API or an etc file populated during setup to provide age brackets to apps without online verification or data sharing. Yeah, System 76 noted, Pop! OS that noted that the laws do not mandate robust verification, only self-attestation, and warned that non-compliance could lead to restricted app access for users. They're also considering minimal changes to provide age signals, focusing on avoided unintended consequences like nerfed internet. There isn't, I guess, according to them, there isn't an actual age verification. At least not as far as California is concerned, I suppose. The developer for OpenRC called it retarded. And Midnight BSD basically just took a firm stance by updating its license to exclude California residents. Well, now they're probably updating that to include Illinois residents, New York residents, Louisiana, Texas, and many other states that I've seen. And there's other countries that are getting into this, like Brazil and some of Europe. And it really doesn't matter at this point because, again, I'm telling you, I'm not giving legal advice here. But this is completely, and I mean completely, unenforceable. I'm going to explain it. I'm not the only one that says this though. Before I make my final point, check out what the Rob Braxman said. Okay, let me see here. Just a second here. All right, let's just take a look really quick at what Rob Braxman said.
What's next for the people who refuse to play this game? The Google AOSP builds like BraxOS, Linux OS, EOD, Graphene OS, and the plain Linux distributions like Ubuntu, Fedora, Arch, Gentoo, Manjaro, SteamOS. The law is written very broadly. It says any operating system provider has to add that hprompt at account or setup time and expose a real-time API that hands apps one of the 4 H brackets when they ask. The definition is so wide that it explicitly sweeps in Linux distros and SteamOS. For the Google AOSP builds, these are the ones that will feel the squeeze the most, but also have the easiest path to resistance. Since they're built on pure AOSP and strip out Google Play services, the official Play H Signals API isn't there anyway, so the ROM maintainers basically have 3 realistic choices. First, they can ignore it completely. This is the most likely path for small or community-driven projects. But the end result will be that many apps will not run on these operating systems, and we will be forced to use Windows, Google, Android, or iOS, these surveillance OSs. Privacy-focused operating systems like Linux and the Google phones running AOSP will be forced to have limited app functionality, as apps will be instituting attested proofs of age and will just likely fail on non-attested devices. So it's almost pointless for these alternate OSs to even do any kind of age signaling. They will likely do it through some API that some app developer will likely not use, but this protects the Linux or distro or AOSP developer by saying they complied. But the practical side, apps will get a non-compliant OS type of signal. App developers are not going to use some custom API for Linux or the Google phones. The bigger risk isn't technical, it's legal. But chasing anonymous or international open source devs is a nightmare. For pure Linux
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I forgot. Alright. Did you get what he just said? Sorry about that. He basically said something. He said that it exactly what I said last week. Okay? He said that it was unenforceable. Basically, you're not going to be able to hunt down all these different distros. I mean, could you imagine trying to hunt down these distros from China, Russia, the Middle East? Are they going to, is California's legislatures or lawyers going to be hunting people down? No. They're expecting apps to be in compliance. So all of these apps will require these age verification. So there is a couple of solutions to this problem. And actually, it's not that terrible. The solution is actually very basic. We got to go back to basics, okay? All open source. We need to be using open source. Why? Well, because now we have access to the source code, and when we have access to the source code, we can rip out all the age verification bullshit, right? This is going to be really easy to deal with. Dude, like when you get done screwing with these people, like just take Brave browser, right? It's 99.99999%. You could rip out all the age verification out of Brave browser. This is just an example. You could rip it out. I guarantee you that will be the most downloaded app. There are things you could do to where hunting you down would be almost impossible. How do you think people do like live streaming for like sports and things like that? Like, dude, you could really make it really hard to find you and find out who you are, if not next to impossible. The other thing is, and this is the thing that actually kind of what I was thinking about, everybody uses Docker images. So like you could on the face of it have one version that has all the age stuff, make a YouTube video or whatever video you wanted. I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily for YouTube. Maybe, because they might demonetize you or worse. Maybe, have a library video or something, or basically explaining how to bypass whatever, age restriction garbage, to say, hey, like on the face of it, I just have to comply, blah, 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 but here's how you get past it. And one of the things you could do, and I'm surprised I never thought of this, is you could have like some sort of alternate installation where you run it through a Docker image. And you just basically create the Docker image, basically run your Docker image. I mean, this is exactly how boot C works, for example. This could absolutely be such a project where you could just say, yeah, you could have like the, hey, yeah, you get the age restriction stuff if you want it. It's there, but you don't really actually have to use it. And I just don't think it's enforceable. But the other thing is am I missing something here? Like, so every image has to somehow have they all have to have age verification? Are you going to require this of Docker images? I'm curious. Really curious about that one. Because you could just say, No, I don't have an operating system. I have a Docker image that, that boots up when I run it. And all it does is launch a Docker image. I mean, are you guys following me here? Does this sound that outlandish? They can enforce this. This is going to be a mess for them. But I think I agree with one part of what I heard last weekend is everybody needs to start calling their senators. And in Washington State, they rejected it. They're going to start up again, especially when California passes it. Then I guess it isn't all that unconstitutional. Same with New York, Louisiana, Texas. These are horrible bills, and these are being pushed by the Heritage Foundation. This is what you need to know. These are the Christian nationalist groups. This is the group that's pretty much got us into the surveillance state. I never thought the surveillance state would start from the right until about 10 years ago. And I was like, oh my God. When Palantir first came out, I realized that they were bribing right-wingers. Now it's left-wingers. I mean, you see California, it's pretty left-wing, Illinois, New York, and now Texas, Louisiana, they're all conservative. Dude, somebody's donating to their campaign. That's what's going on. And so we need to find out where the money's coming from and just start, educating parents on, how to keep your kids safe on the internet, because I do think that that's very important. I mean, if I had a small child, until they were, 10 or 12, I don't think I would be having them, on the internet. I just don't think it's something that I would be willing to do. But again, Rob Braxman even is pretty much just said this is unenforceable. Omarchi says it's unenforceable. All these other people say it's unenforceable. So what's Ubuntu, Fedora, and all those people going to do? I think they're going to do the bare minimum and just see if they can't skate by. But these people aren't going to stop with this. So we need to start using open source software, and we need to be ripping out any age verification that's inside the source code and then re-releasing it. That's the way forward. I don't think it's that hard, because the age verification is going to be so small that I don't think they'll be able to do anything about it. So anyway, let's get to the chat. Be back walking doggy. All right, Darren. Yeah, Microsloppy and Meta are pushing these laws, which is still... Yeah, I've been watching a lot of that. Well, I agree with you, Darren. Washington State, their court cases already starting to look a lot like federal judges around said it's unconstitutional. My noise canceling. Oh, did I not have my noise canceling? Oh. It's on. Okay. That should be a little bit better. Okay, so anyway. Yeah. Very good. pretty much said that I am going to talk about a few things, and then I'm gonna be taking a look at Devuan for a while, get up and going really quick like. All right, well, let's get on to our next topic, which was supposed to be my first topic. I found out why you should never use Void Musl edition. So you have two versions that you can download with Void Linux. You can download the glibc, which is the full C library, and then Musl, which is like a minimalist type, right? And so I thought, oh, minimalist, I'll still be able to compile everything, just be a little bit more minimalist. Maybe I have to, add a few libraries here and there, but everything should compile. And for the most part, this is true. However, I tried to recompile OBS Studio, which I did successfully, and then I tried adding certain features like the browser and that sort of thing. That's why you'll notice that I don't actually use a browser in OBS because, well, I can't compile it with Musl edition. This is why people use glibc. If you want the full C access to the full C library and C compilations, you're going to use glibc and not Musl. This is something that was kind of new to me, because, like I said, I in the past have used Musl and I've never had any problems compiling anything. I've compiled quite a few things on Musl. I never had any problems, so it never occurred to me that I would have any problems compiling OBS Studio. So the whole thing is it's an actual architecture issue. And so if you have a Musl architecture for your C compiling, you just won't have any extra features. Like, you'll have the main OBS Studio, for example, but you won't have any extra features. You can try and enable them and it just won't compile, and then they'll just basically give you a bunch of errors saying that your architecture is wrong, basically. Wow. Everything else compiles except for this one thing. I compiled GIMP, no problem. I compiled Ardour, no problem. I compiled Kdenlive. Now, Kdenlive did require a little bit of a workaround. I don't even remember what it was, but I think, oh yeah, I had to create a symlink for an existing file and point it to a file that OBS was looking for. I think that was it. Yeah. So there's that. I was shocked by that, though, I must say, because I was compiling everything. As you know, I compile most of my software from source, and I didn't think that this would be a big deal, because it was like, okay, I'll just, like I said, when I normally compile software with Musl, sometimes I require a couple extra libraries that I have to compile separately or something like that. No, it's impossible. So, well, Ethan, I haven't got that far yet. I'm still working on. I'm going to have some sort of ISO probably in the coming weeks. I've been so busy with work and other things, I haven't been able to do that. But I'm actually trying to get my main setup, which is what I'm going to be working on today. All right, which I think is our next segment. All righty. I'm going to put my chat right here. All righty. So now we're going to install Devuan really quick. I used to be able to run a lot more memory, but lately I haven't been able to do that. Alrighty. Wow, that was weird. This is really easy to install. My super complicated password. Alrighty. Let's use I'll just put it right here for right now. Just keep that on top for right now. You're going to see how easy this is. Alrighty. Alrighty. All right, it's going. Oh, that's good, Ethan. Glad you're enjoying them. All righty. Wow, so this is installing. I got some really cool things to do here. So I think you guys will be really impressed with some of the things that I do here in the live stream. This does take a few minutes though. You wait until I install apt fast. This thing will be so fast. I think I'm going to change the day I do this, the live stream, Got a lot of background noise. Okay, let's do OpenRC. Because of course you don't want SysB in it. Very easy. Let's go ahead and reboot, folks. Sig term, sig kill, dev1. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this thing. Super complicated password. All right. Get this a little bigger. Okay. So we don't have sudo, right? Oh, we do. Okay. But all right. Okay. So you gotta run that as root, right? Oh, this is so weird. I tried this the other day and it didn't work. All right, whatever. I had a different, okay. For whatever reason, it's working now. All right. Now, let's try this. Wheel doesn't exist. I forgot how to fix that. Never mind. Let's see here. I'll probably do that in a minute. And this is what I meant. All right. Now we want to, let me put that one always on top because I just need to be able to see it. Oh, sudo apt update and hold on a second. so now we need to, so hold on here. All right, hold on. Let's see if this helps. Oh, I remember this. Hold on here. So you could do Oh, I see. You can just do that. Didn't I say sudo? Ah, that's what I meant. Okay. So you could just do like this. I don't need the SRC. Alright, and you could do contrib none. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Alright. I think this will okay. That should work. I might have to. Alright, hold on. Get a new tab. That. Sometimes you need to spawn a new instant. That is so weird, because I had a similar thing happen before. All right, this is something new. when I was, all right, let's see here. Oh, we're not connected to the internet, folks. How is that possible? Oh, well. Oh, boy. All right, let's try that again. And I was expecting just to run right through this, so trying to figure out what's going on here. All right. Let's see. Here. See if that still does it. All right, you said some. All right, so we're going to take a look at this real quick. All right. Whoa. We are not. Why am I not? Hold on. That's what's going on. I'm just not connected. How was that? Holy mackerel, this is supposed to work. This is so weird. Today's one of those days, man. Here we go. Says I'm connected. Good. Wow. So supposedly I'm connected. sudo. Let's just try rebooting. All right, who's still in the chat with me? Oh, God, this has been a mess today. I don't know why I need to reboot this, but let's see here. It said that I was connected. All right. I'm out. Sudo th. Good. Now I should be. I shouldn't give you all that information, but I am having problems here. What? Mija, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it is pretty vague, and I agree with you. Um, why, oh, why? Oh, I know. I know what's going on. All right. I get it now. All right. So sudo okay. There we go. I think I have to belong to the wheel group, right? And then if I do sudo let's see what's going on. All right, I'm going to um all right. Uh, all right. So now This is something new to me. I installed this just a couple of days ago. I might have to reinstall this. I don't know why. Alright, I did something wrong here with my networking. Let's try that one more time. Let's see if this does it. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna reinstall it. There's no point in trying to. There we go, we're connected. I don't know what that was all about, but there we go. Good. All right. Now we are. I don't know what. I just think I just had to restart my whatever you call that. Very good. All right. So now. All right. Alright, so now, let me just do this really quick. Let's get apt fast. So sudo apt search. See here, doesn't have it. Not to worry. Let's go here to build. Sudo apt install curl wget and git. Should probably just do that. And we probably should do sudo apt modern nice. Alright, so let's clear that. The only thing is I just need to do something really quick. wget https LIKEN got it. All right. So now we just have to untar it. All right, cd app fast clear. So we're in the app fast master. So now you just copy paste app fast user local bin, just like that, and sudo fast app fast conf to etc. Then we're going to do sudo cp completions bash fast user share. I don't think this is going to work because that's what I thought. Okay, so first I gotta make this directory, right? Sudo make dir, make all the parent directories. There we go. Then we're going to do sudo chmod plus x user local bin fast. And then if we did so let's do something here. Let's get another window open. Sudo app fast install elvim jq rip grep fcf tmux. That should be good for. Oh, okay, right. And I forgot you need to just install that. Now you should be able to do. Oh, wait. Okay, now it will install. Look how fast that is. Yeah. That is blazing fast. That's faster than anything I've seen. So, yeah, that's really super fast. Okay. So now it will say to run etc bash. Let's just make sure that's all cool. And so this actually is something that I set up recently. This makes it really fast. I might try doing this one more time because that was a little bit sloppy on my part, but Let's see here. What should I install? Something, say like GIMP. Watch this. Tell me that isn't the fastest installer you've ever seen. Holy mackerel. And it's all on Debian. This is pretty fast. There's the Nala installer. This takes a Pepsi challenge with that any day of the week. And ultimately, that's kind of how you would set this up. All right, so let's see here. All right, let's see here. Let's make this kind of nice here. Who's with me in the on the live stream? Is it, oh, I got a few people. All right, nobody's talking, so all right. I had a lot more at one point, but this is good. Anyway. All right. So I'm going to take a... Oh, shit. I got to redo this. All right. No wonder. Oh, why didn't somebody tell me? Oh. All right. Sudo power off. All right, we're going to reinstall that. And we're going to redo that. All right, sorry about that, guys. That was my screw up. All right, I'm allowed one screw up a day, I guess. Especially when you just wake up. All righty. This time I will get it right, I promise. I will get it right, I promise. That was my screw up, guys. That was a big screw up. I didn't realize I wasn't showing my screen. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. I'll make this work. I ran into so many issues with the installer. Amazing. Like when I did this last week, like there was a lot of things that were different. They must have updated this a little bit, I think. Anyway, we'll get it this time, I promise. Ugh. Yeah. All right. I need a little heavier, probably an. Okay. I can't. What?
Tu comida está en el horno, voy a ir con Ana a su casa.
Okay.
Nomás la calientas 5 minutos o menos, porque ya está cocido todo, nomás para que se derrita el queso.
All right. I am. This is good. We'll do this again. This will make a really good live video though, because now anyway. All right. So, very good. So, there are a lot of people watching. Which is good. Not like last week, but really good. This is a good live stream. We're almost done here. We got about 10 seconds remaining on this part, and then we'll just like go be really quick. Oh yeah, you gotta install this other nonsense. Anyway, this is the distro I'm thinking of switching to probably next week. So yeah. Oh, I have some big news before I get done with this stream. Like really big news. Remind me to let you guys know about it. Yeah. I'm really hoping though, really soon, I might actually switch. I tried switching to FreeBSD, but I think I might make the switch sometime this year. If I do, that's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of really good content. I'm still going to do some FreeBSD content though between now and then. I have a couple of computers with FreeBSD installed. And so I'm hoping people really want to see that because FreeBSD is a better operating system in my opinion. Just requires a little bit of extra work to get it up and running. But it's night and day. There are certain things I'm not going to be like a fan, like a total fanboy. Like there are certain things that there are, I guess, certain things that Linux does better than FreeBSD. And actually, like I was looking at a comparison between ZFS, FreeBSD, and Linux, and ZFS writes a little faster, I think. It's pretty kind of interesting to me. Like, alrighty. We got this sucker installed. Good deal. Let's see if we can do this again painlessly. Alright, let's get this thing. Let's resize this screen really quick. Alright. I have the worst neighbors. I hope I don't get demonetized. I don't know how much this is picking up. Alright, so let's see here. Sudo apt. Okay. And it'll say I'm not in the sudoers file, right? So let's do this. Sudo. All right. All right. Yeah, I know, right? All right, let's get into the sudos. So last week when I did this, I couldn't just run vsudo. I had to run it from like, what was it, the like user sbin, so like run it from root basically. should have sudo apt modernize sources. Okay, there we go. Now we are doing pretty good. So now we should do sudo group add. So last week when I did this, I couldn't, so like I had to do user sbin group add, and then like that, and then like user mod, mode ag. So sometimes like when they first get this going, I think that they will allow me to do that. But so sudo. Okay, very good. So now we're adding this. So now the only thing that I want to do right now is let's clear that. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go sudo apt install wget curl and git, and let's go ahead and install that. You see how like cursed this was, like I just went and redid it and the network just works. I don't know what I did. Cierra la puerta, ya me van a demonetizar por la música. Okay. So, okay. All right, so now I have wget. That's what I really needed. So I gotta find a solution to this. All right. You can see that I have. Okay. You know what? I want to make directory p. Let's go ahead and get into a different. All right, there we go. Let's go clear. All right, so we should have this master tar.gz. All right, so now we can just untar this, right? So let's see here. So you have a bunch of files in here, but the easiest way is just to basically just do sudo cp appfast user local bin, and then sudo cp appfast.conf etc, and then you would do make dir p user share dash completions. Oh, I do have it now. I didn't the last time. This is so funny. Like, oh. So now we'll do sudo cp completions dash appfast user share dash completions. All right. Now we need to install Raya 2. That should install. All right. And then well, actually, I don't need this quite yet. So if I said like sudo appfast install, like say neovim jq rip grep and fcf, and we gotta do tmux. Watch this, guys. You tell me that ain't like fast. That's awesome, guys. I don't know who figured this out for apt, because apt even with Nala is really slow. No. So let's see here. All right. Actually, I'll just put it right over here. It's just a one-liner that you put in your bash RC or your Z, whatever, the Z shell RC. All right, and now the only other thing that you should do is probably sudo is it user or etc? So I was trying to figure out what that was. So I was trying to figure out what that problem was that I was having. And now I've kind of figured out that it's actually it was just that I wasn't connected to the internet. So now sudo apt update. All right, clear. And that's probably the things that you need to do to set this up so that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. So let's go ahead and do some things, shall we? So let's see here. All right, so now I'm just installing some wallpapers. I'll make this look really nice. Okay, so now, I probably should have done app fast, but I'm gonna probably have to get like some sort of all we need to do. So let's do that one. Hold on. Sorry. I need to move. So now I put the sim links there. This is good. Let's see, bat. In Vim. All right. And now I was just thinking of something I needed to do. So let's go back to all right, CD fonts. All right, let's just make sure I have user share fonts. All right. So move. TF user. All right. So now I should. Oh, come on now. Really? Oh, I see. So let's see here. So, alrighty. I think we're good here. Let's just go ahead, close. Let's just close all of it. Okay. What do you guys think? So I just thought I would just set this up really quick. Let's go to default applications, web browser, Debian Sense. Let's just do Mozilla for right now. I don't have a mail reader. Thunar's fine with me. Let's do Kitty. There you go. There we go. So now I have a really special like little something, right? All right. I'm not sure if I have icons or not. What is it? Oh yeah. Yeah, I can remove it, I think, because sudo I have a wait, what? My bash scripts are not working very well. I guess maybe I don't have it there. All right. So, no problem. I might find like something really pithy to put, like some sort of pithy whatever. All right. So, oh, I got to restart this, right? So let's just log back out and log back in. Now I should, when I... Oh, shoot, that's right. Move. And now we should be able to get... There we go. Sometimes I amaze myself. I like that one right there. And then you can come over here and let's go. Maybe this one. All right, there's a couple things I want. Yeah, we do not want to use mouse wheel on the desktop to switch workspaces. That is so annoying. All right. I actually kind of like that one. There is some really cool, if you look in here, there's some cool, probably like something like that is even pretty cool. I don't like that. I like that right there. That's probably going to be my go-to. That one I like too. Guilty as sin. All right. Very good. You know what I like? I'm going to be really honest. Like, I like all of these reversed, so you can just actually move these. So like this one right here, I don't care for that menu thing, like this right here. I don't care for it, but okay, say I wanted that. Bring that over here. I don't need the title. I've done this before. And then you could do like and you could do something like that. I can't remember, is it like that? I did this before where I got the title out of it. Oh, it won't allow me to anymore. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Well, I like that. And I could probably get like a nice little something something, right? Why is it? Hold on. That hold on. Let's do like a screenshot. Okay, that's supposed to be on this side, right? Oh, since they're forcing this on me. Okay, now that's what I was trying. So like you could have like the Ubuntu type thing here. There's a lot of things you can do to, you know, basically set up XFCE that I really like. Now let's do the desktop settings. Yeah, we need another one. Let's go to pictures, wallpaper. It'll take a second to populate. And Now we're kind of looking like a desktop. What do you guys think? Let's go ahead and while we wait for this to populate, how I was trying to do. I was trying to do that. Let's go to panel 2. Let's get rid of this. I don't ever use that, really. I don't see a purpose in it. You could do like intelligently. I don't think that works very good in a virtual machine though. I don't notice. You could set like an opacity, something like that, maybe. I don't know. I don't really care, but one thing I am going to add Alright, let's get rid of that right there. Alright, now go to properties, appearance. There we go. Alright, I like that. And you could actually, let's go back here. Go icon and title if you wanted. See here, let's go to action buttons. There we go. Now we just have the buttons. We don't have to have the labels, which is good. I don't make it kind of flat. And let's see here. Oh, nice. That's all right. I'd much rather something like that. That one's all right. Or you could do like more of a there we go. That one's kind of nice. Has a little Some of these really look good on my laptop, but don't look so great. How about that one? That looks good. I like that. Oh, we need to go to desktop settings again. Desktop icons. I hate desktop icons on my, you know, we can do something like, all right. Do this. All right. Now, one thing you can do right here is and there we go. Switch workplaces using the mouse wheel. I think that's turned off, right? Yeah, good. I don't need to show the workplace number. And you could do something like, you could expand it like that, put it right in the middle. There's a lot of things you can do with this, and you can really make this your own. Like, this is something you really could do to really, you know, make it your own. And sorry. Oh, hold on, that's not it. And here is basically, you know, pretty much everything. Let's see what version of NeoVim, 11.6. I'm going to be taking a look at 12 here very soon, probably this next week. I haven't looked at it. I've been reading a lot about it. I hear they have a really, really, really nice package manager that's a little lighter weight than, you know, other package managers, so I might be taking a look at that. All right. So anyway, that's pretty much, there's a few other things I guess you could do if you wanted. I do want to change a couple of things though real quick. I want to make that like that. Let's see, some like that. we're almost there. Okay. I'm gonna go back. There's something wonky with the graphics, so I'll just keep it the same. All right. So another thing you could do if you really, really wanted, you went to panel preferences, for example, and this is something, if you wanted to add like a window manager, for example, you could add like comps. So how it would do that is you just have like a launcher and then open that up, add an entry. So you'd say like comps, and then you just do comps replace, just like that. And then like whatever icon you wanted to use, and you could use it like that. I'm not actually going to do that. But I thought it would be worth showing you. So if, say, you wanted to do that, pretty easy to do. Most tiling window managers don't work very well, though. I will warn you, but you can use OpenBox. You can use, well, you were able to use Plasma up to Plasma 5. I don't know after that. I don't know if you can use like the earlier versions of Plasma 6 or not. But you can use a lot of other things as well. Works great if you don't want to use XFWM4. And you can add, you know, some nice little icons and stuff. There's a lot of things you can. Another thing you can do is, for example, if you went to config, if you went into like GTK 3.0, you can make like GTK CSS, and you can modify the bar and different windows and different applications using CSS, basically. And you can make some really, really nice configurations from there. So if you're good at CSS, or you know, want to use a little bit of ChatGPT, you can configure some really cool things with XFCE. The other thing is if you want to use XFWM4, but you don't like the tiling, one thing you can do is you know, write some scripts with WM control and I'll think of it in a minute. It's oh God, my brain just went blank. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, WM control and oh geez, what is that? Oh, I can tell you right now. And this is the guy who actually does the XDO tool. That's what I was thinking of. So like you can yeah, you can set up tiling with XDO and with WM control. You just write the scripts, have them work on your particular screen setup, and you can set them up to, you know, like to like key bindings and that sort of thing. And if you wanted an easier way to do it, you could use like this simple X hotkey daemon, and you could set it up to work with that. I don't know how they're going to set this up with Wayland though, like when XFCE switches to Wayland. Now they'll always have an X version, but I don't know how that will work. I know the simple hotkey daemon does. Well, from what I understand, I know XDO and WM control work with. They do work with Wayland, from what I understand, and I think even the simple hotkey daemon works. And I think they've even made an alternative for Wayland, so you should be able to use this fairly easily. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of a way that you can get XFCE up and running really quickly. And you can set it up to your heart's content, and you can really make this really nice. There's a few other things you could do, like if you did want to, like you could always oh, it won't give you that option. Okay, hold on. Wow, this is a little different, huh? Okay. Well, what you can do then, I guess in that case, you could take something like this. You can just like pin it straight up there. So like now you have a launcher. So every time now you can, the only thing I don't like is that it, instead of having this once, it has it twice. There used to be a little something about that. Let me see what we got here. I think there is something here. Don't want to. Everybody likes to use that mouse wheel to switch between things. I hate that. Okay. So I guess there's really not much I could do other than just have like one section where all of my applications are pinned, and then have like another section where my windows are open, maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to just unpin that. But yeah, that's another idea for you to think about. And there are a lot of things you can do to really make this look nice. And again, you can set up Compass, you can set up OpenBox, Fluxbox, Blackbox. I've set them all up, no problems. The only one that the ones I haven't been able to set up are tiling window managers for some reason, like BSP WM, DWM, Xmonad. Supposedly there is a way to set up DWM with XFCE, but I haven't managed to figure that part out. All right. Wow. So who is still with me so far? Okay. I got a few people. Not like last time, but we're doing pretty good here. All right. Leave me a comment in the section below. All right. What else do you want to? I think I got one other thing here. And so this is okay. So, oh wait, I got on the right side, right? All right. So we have a few things. Sudo apt fast install pod and a dmap. I haven't tried this yet. But I do think these are what are necessary for like the backend to work. So let's see here. Just make sure it has like some information. Good. Looks good to me. App install Distrobox. All right. And so let's see here. Good deal. So now so we're supposed to do this right here. Echo So supposedly then that, and then let's see here. Let's create theme Fedora image Fedora latest. Yes. All right. Then you could just do Distrobox. It's been a while since I've used a Distrobox like this. So I just thought it was kind of interesting to do really fast. Just kind of, you know, I just thought it was interesting. So now we're in Fedora, right? Which is great. Now, if I said dnf install neovim jq rip grep, actually just do that, because if I have the rest let's do that, and then you'll see how fast this is. And then, like, if I wanted to export it, I could do Distrobox export app in Vim. Okay, and it says it will. And the one thing I don't like about this, I'll be really honest, is that, so this will show up right here. So it shows up right here, right? So let's click on it. Oh, it works. So I'm in Distrobox Center. So I'm in Fedora right now, which is pretty freaking cool if you ask me. Yeah. So now, but if I said like Distrobox RM, wait, I don't have Arch, I have Fedora, sorry. Oh. So I don't remember how to do to remove. Oh, I'm inside Fedora, so it's not going to kill itself. So what I got to do, all right, I knew that. So now I would just do Distrobox M. Yeah, let's do that. Now you, okay. Oh my god, that was a brain fart. But yeah, so this is really, really easy to like run pretty much anything that you want to run. Also, like when I build packages, I can just use Distrobox. There's also another thing that you could do that I think is fascinating. So now, if I remember right, if we go back here, it's still on Fedora, but yeah. So now if I close this, maybe, I don't think that, so it's trying to. That's the only thing, it just doesn't remove the menu options. So if you're just going to be very careful, or you basically enter your, so like I think there is a menu editor somewhere here. You just enter that, and I think maybe this. No. Maybe something like that. They used to, I can't remember what they used to edit the menu in XFCE, but it's fairly easy to, if you look into it, to, basically edit the menu. But yeah, you can edit it and remove it manually, but that's a little bit of a pain. But other than that, this Distrobox is pretty awesome. And the other thing you could do is you could do something like use Box Buddy, but I want to stay away from Flatpaks, and they're only available in Flatpaks. I've thought about trying to compile it from source and just have it available on Debian. The only thing is I don't know how often they update it. So I mean, like, some of these people like make the most tedious updates, and then they do it all the time, and all of that, and so it becomes kind of a nightmare. I don't know if I want to like upkeep with that. The only other thing, I'm really looking into possibly switching to Devuan from here, because as I mentioned earlier about Void Musl, oh god, this is just one of those things where it just drives me nuts. And yeah, I have a hard time with compiling like OBS Studio and a few other things. I'm thinking, in order to just save myself all of that headache, for a little bit of minimalism that I'm going to save, I could just use the GCC compiler and just be done with it, or the glibc version, right? And use the GCC compiler and just be done with it. But again, you know, I've been using Void Linux here for a while now. Let me just get out of this. And that's the other thing. I'm going to have to get the shutdown command so that I quit just shutting it down like that. But I've been using this for a while now. And let's see here. Anyway, I wanted to see here if I could. Yeah, let's go. Do I still have OBS Studio? Yeah. I'll show you here. Hold on. That's right. So if, for example, I'm not going to do it, but if I wanted to, you probably see that this is throwing an error. So if I remove the browser here, it will compile. Although it takes all of my resources, it might freeze my stream. So I probably am not going to do that right now. But I wanted to just show this because I think this is indicative of like kind of a larger problem with trying to compile things with Musl, and so I'm looking for an alternative, and the one that I really like so far is Devuan, and I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. There's a lot of things that are a little annoying, but at the same time they're kind of nice. Like, it's not completely archaic, but you still have to set things up by hand. And I think there's something to be said for that. Anyway, kind of rant over, I guess, but I'm just thinking that I'm going to be setting up, I'm going to be leaving Void Linux. I honestly don't think Run It is a great init system. It's okay, and I do like Void Linux. I like some of the other development that they do. And if they had an OpenRC version, I think I would run Void Linux over what I'm about to install, which is Devuan. That's just me. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just some of the things that I've been, looking at has really caught my attention. I'm not going to just be distro hopping all the time. This is meant to like kind of stay here for a while. I'm not planning on having like this huge, whatever you call it, right? And I don't remember where I was going with this. Okay. Anyway. So the only other thing, I have some really good news. I heard from Felipe Contreras this last week, and we are still talking about doing a collab. So he just had some things come up, and he said that he still wants to do the collab. He's still very much interested in doing the collab, and so he just basically said he got a little distracted with, like some normal life stuff. Anyway, I'm hoping, honestly, to be able to compile my own OBS plugins and everything. And I just basically, it was really easy to set it up in Void Linux. I got it to compile in about a half an hour. It wasn't that bad. And I think most of you don't realize maybe that I do compile a lot of my own software. I compile Kden Live from source, Ardor, GIMP. Sometimes I've in the past I've done Blender. I've installed that from source and a few other programs. To me, installing things from source has never been really difficult, especially like when I started using Slackware. I would just have to, like a lot of times it was just a matter of reading the documentation and just learning what the errors were telling you. And so, anyway, that's pretty much all I got for today. I think this was kind of I don't know. It was some of my, I really liked this stream today. I think it was pretty successful, but I made a couple of really big mistakes. So hopefully people don't judge me too harshly. But yeah, I really want people to really be thinking about how we are going to tear into this. For example, if we're using open source software, then we need to be ripping out the parts that require ID of any kind. Just rip it out, re-release it. If everybody does it, they can't go after all of us. The problem is what they're banking on is that they can isolate us. I don't think they, if you'll work, and I'll tell you this, that's one thing that I am definitely committed to, because I don't like this Palantir crap. And like right now, I don't know, man. I've heard some really scary stuff from the Trump administration, that like the whole war in Iran and stuff. That doesn't surprise me. Like, there's a bunch of warmongers and stuff, but I hear Pete Hegseth, they have this idea that somehow the Jerusalem building the third temple is somehow a good thing. And unfortunately, I mean, if you are a Christian, you know that that's not a good thing. Do you know what kind of, Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice. So if they start doing animal sacrifices again, there is a curse that is going to be placed on the Jewish people like you could not even imagine. But Pete Hegseth and some of these people think that this is okay. And so part of this is pushing this mass surveillance state in the same, with some of the same justifications. And I mean, honestly, if you read the Bible and read about the end times, they talk about a mass surveillance state. And so the guys are the people that are so-called representing Christianity are the ones who are pushing for this. I want to know what planet I'm on. Honestly, I don't get it. I honestly don't. But the things that I've been reading in the last couple of days, it's like, I don't think most people, and I'm not trying to get political or even religious or anything like that, but it's really simple that people don't like identity politics. They don't like, they just don't like a bunch of, I don't think people like games, right? And they don't like being lied to. And now you have, organizations like the Heritage Foundation who are pushing for all of these narratives. They act like this is somehow a good thing, that we have this nanny surveillance state. Now, what is it behind it? Probably like all kinds of AI and different things. Palantir. And I mean, honestly, like when you look at Palantir, they literally bribed Donald Trump. They gave him hundreds of millions of dollars in his campaign. Who knows how much dark money people like the Heritage Foundation, Palantir, and other dark money groups gave to the Trump administration. And Democrats are no better. I'm not saying it's a Republican or Democrat thing. I'm really trying to steer away from that because both of them are pushing this nonsense. As a Christian, I'm just mind boggled that people of the faith are okay with any of this. I'm not okay with it. And it makes me so angry sometimes. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if Jesus is coming back in his sandals in my lifetime. Or on his white horse, I guess, if you read Revelations. But I don't know anything, okay? I just know that this is not a good idea. I know that there are these people who are trying to make Bible prophecy come true, as if God needs your help. Oh my God. Anyway, just keep your eyes peeled and fight. We have to fight this good fight of, again, you know what? If an open source piece of software comes out that requires some sort of ID to lock you in, rip it out. That's what we got to do. That's it. And you know what? Red Hat will be capitulating to this. Ubuntu will be capitulating to this. Fedora will be capitulating to this. So we have to fight back. It's incumbent upon us who know how to compile software to, basically gut out, honestly, you're going to have the best downloads in Linux just because of it. And the simple fact is they can't go after all of us. They just can't. So, yeah. Yeah, I think we definitely need to push back. But like I said, this is not a Democrat-Republican thing. So call your senators. Call your legislatures. In Alaska, I called my senator this last week. I personally know Lisa Murkowski, And so I've known her for 20 years. I called her. I said, this is a bad bill. This is a bad idea. She actually listened to me, and she was very sympathetic. I don't know how she'll vote, but I've known Lisa Murkowski for 20 years, more than 20 years. And I know her whole family. It was very easy for me to get a hold of her. Now, what's really cool about it is if I do convince her, this is a deciding vote if something like this goes before Congress. I don't know if it will. Dan Sullivan, I know him too, but he's a cuck, so I didn't call him. The best thing you can do in that situation, I think, is to try and primary him. And I hear there's 2 or 3 people in the works to primary him. And so I reached out to those people. And there's actually a recall effort as well. So I basically, in the state of Alaska, I basically I kind of got Mark Begich as well. He's kind of on board. He's kind of a big deal in Alaska. Tony Knowles is a big deal in Alaska. I've known Tony Knowles for a long time. He's a great guy. He's he's definitely he's a little different. I'll just put it that way. But he's a great guy. So I called all those people. Okay? I can get a hold of Tony Knowles. I can get a hold of Mark Begich very easily. I got a hold of Nick Begich, his brother. Okay? Alaska is probably not going to go with this, even though it looks like they're entertaining it. I think they're ultimately going to reject it. I expect Dan Sullivan to get primaried, and he's going to get removed from the Senate. They're trying to remove Lisa Murkowski, but the problem is that we have Native Alaskans who want Lisa Murkowski in office. So, when she went up against Jeff Miller, for example, is a really good example. She went up against Jeff Miller a few years ago, and she was just going to concede when he won, but a bunch of natives said, "No, we want you to run. We'll support you," and they wrote her name in, and she won on a write-in. It was wonderful. And she actually didn't just win the primary, she won the election on a write-in. She got so many more votes than... All right.